everyone, this is Charles, and here with me today is a special guest. It's Gianluca, also known as
Nope.
1stbornpainting on Instagram. How are you doing?
Good, good. Thank you. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
And this is our community showcase video. A couple weeks ago, I had asked on Instagram for people to submit their best work from 2020. And I'm putting together this video as a big thank you for everyone supporting my work. And so Gianluca and I will be going through everyone's submissions and kind of just showing everyone's painting off, and we'll be giving some feedback and telling you guys what we like. So this first one is actually by 1stbornpainting himself. I believe this is one of the high elves.
Yep. Yeah. So it's for a project I'm doing, just based on like a scene from the Silmarillion. So it's
Okay.
I'm a very slow painter. So it'll probably be done in like 10 years, but whatever.
Yeah, the blending on the armor is just incredible. Like, I have no idea how you do it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's something I've been working on for years and years now. So,
yeah,
but always trying to get better. But yeah, thank you.
yeah. There are tutorials for how you paint your armor. So yeah, if anyone's interested in how Gianluca paints his non-metallic metal, just give him a shout.
Yep, I'm definitely happy to help out. I've helped out a bunch of people too, just even on chatting and trying to give just at least basic advice and helpful advice. So yeah, happy to help.
How long did it take for you to paint this model up to this point?
That right there, that probably was like 2 months of work. And again, due to busy life and such, I just paint. And like me as a painter, I only paint maybe for like 30 minutes at once, and then I'll stop, and then I'll maybe come back and do it again. I do it in short spurts, so probably over about, in total, the amount of hours at least 20 to 30 hours probably in total.
That's crazy for just one model.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic work.
Definitely not. I'm definitely not like you. I'm not like I definitely will not have armies because I know you're lucky. You got a good community to play the strategy battle
Yeah.
game and such, and there's no one around me, at least where I'm at. So, but yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so the next person we have is it's a diorama by a Skull Paints. And I remember this entry in my July painting competition. I think that was his submission.
Yeah.
So this is Theoden on looks like a 60 millimeter base, and he kind of took advantage of the extra space and made a scene out of it. And
yeah, it's really nice. The flowers too, I really like. Just kind of add to that field of Pelennor. It's it gives a good ambiance.
Yeah, the edge highlighting on Snowmane's armor is really sharp, so I like.
Yes.
It really makes the armor pop.
Yep, definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
It adds because with leather, especially leather it's very important to leather. It's kind of almost like you're drawing or you're painting non-metallic metal almost sometimes, because you have the contrast has to be so high in order for you to give that leathery effect, and then you can add the texture onto it too. That looks convincing and very well done. So
yeah, great job.
All
right, next we have Angelos SBG, his Isildur model.
That's a nice one.
I really like the gold on this one, how it's like more like of a muted color.
Yeah, it's a colder gold. It's not as it doesn't draw as much attention, at least that it seems like the attention is more for the silver non-metallic metal.
Yeah. Really, really nice. The face. I think it'd be cool if the silver had a little like higher contrast.
Obviously, it'd be just like painting in general. If you obviously want to draw the eye is immediately drawn to the face and to obviously the helmet and the upper chest area. So obviously increasing the highlights and maybe the increasing the amount of shadows too could help draw the eye towards those areas. But overall, it's very nice. I like the maroon color too of the cloak as well. It's not too overbearing. So it kind of, again, so that you focus more on the armor, which is nice.
Yeah, very very nice job on the maroon. I'm a big fan of that color.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay, next we have entry from Blazing Star 1976, and this is a Saruman model.
Mm.
I
The new
believe
one.
when he sent this to me, he said that he was just coming back to the hobby after many years. So I think it's a great job
Yeah.
for like someone who's been out of the game. I like the subtle green on the staff, um, just because the horse is also black, so it kind of distinguishes between the two.
Yeah. I didn't
Um,
notice that until you said that. Yeah, that's a good little hint there.
yeah, and
um,
the new Saruman model is there's just so much detail in them. I really
right.
enjoyed painting mine. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
Um,
say. They did a really good job on the new Saruman model. Some of their new models are really nice.
all right, great job on this one. Next, we have Gimli from Browntown Games, and I believe this one was also submitted for my July painting competition. Um, I really like the idea of this one because I don't think I've seen a Fellowship model that's from the scene where they're like stuck in the snow in the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's a great idea of just putting snow all over the model.
Mhm.
And I'm a big fan of purple on everything.
Yeah, I can see him. I can see him talking to Gandalf, trying to convince him to go to the mines.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, the overall, and then even behind the model too, it looks like he added some ice effects as well too, some cracked ice effects. That's a nice little touch.
oh yeah, yeah. That's a good point. I actually didn't see that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, cool idea.
Overall.
Next we have one from Drums in the Deep. If you don't follow Drums in the Deep yet and you love Moria, definitely should. He did this series of just uh, custom sculpted Moria characters. I think this one is based on Gorkill, which is from Battle for Middle Earth, the PC game.
Yeah, I've been playing that a lot.
Yeah. Um, it's just
That's an
crazy.
impressive sculpt. Like it's like, especially the scorpion. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, the Scorpion, the scale is perfect, and the fact that he fit it on a 25 mil base is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Really like the base it's on. I think he painted the rock to have like a OSL effect, like light coming from above,
Mm-hmm.
which really just gives you like the Moria Mines of Moria vibes. Um, the
Yeah.
conversion on the rider is great too. It looks like you could kind of see his, even though he's wearing like a mask, you can see his face underneath.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like how he poked the holes in the like the eye holes, and you can actually see the goblin as well.
Yes. Yeah. It looks like you were saying about the whole sizing thing too. It's the scorpion is like really well sized too, even for that small of a base. It's not too much where it's like, okay, it doesn't make sense that the base is, the sculpt is this large and the base is small. It's a really nice size. It's not too small either, too. He did a
Yeah,
good job.
yeah, wonderful work. Next we have Dublin
Oh,
Lord
sure.
of the Rings miniatures. I always love seeing fellowships. I painted 3 sets of fellowships this year, and this was one of them.
My
The
goodness.
plastic, yeah, the plastic Mines of Moria
Hmm.
fellowship. Um, Simple but effective basing. This is looks like it's Mines of Moria themed as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think he nailed all the colors. I think those are all like that's like the movie color scheme,
Hmm.
and yeah, I just like the look of the group overall. I think maybe if he used some shading on the faces, that would bring out the details more. And
Hmm.
but otherwise, yeah, I like the look of this one.
Yeah, overall they're pretty nice. I think just the only thing, and you can kind of see it with the Aragorn, is
Mhm.
the satin varnish. So at least for me, at least maybe use like a matte varnish to help bring down that tone so it's not as shiny where in areas where, so that you can see the color a little bit better too. But overall, they look really nice together. And it's a
Yeah.
classical set for sure.
Yeah. Next, we have 4-post minis, and I believe this is the Hama model. I like how he did the armor here, how he went for a bit of a more reddish outline on the chainmail. I'm a fan of people painting red on Rohan models. I think it provides a good contrast with the silver armor. I think if there was a little more shading, either with like a wash or something on like the forearms, I think that would make the detail on the arms pop more. But yeah, I think he did a good job on this one.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, maybe a little bit more shading. Not necessarily black lining in between, like the leather straps of the arm, but you can use like a darker color to kind of differentiate between the armor straps and the clothing, and that just goes for all other areas too, and that helps just to pop things out a little bit. But overall, it's a very nice Hama model.
Yeah, nice work. Next, we have Gandalf Astari Miniatures. This guy is actually from my local group, and just someone that comes to our tournaments, and he's a fan of non-metallic metal as well. I see that he's done a fun little space freehand on the banner. So it's the first thing you see when you look at this group of models.
First thing I saw, yeah.
Yeah. And the basing too. I think he's going for Palanir Fields in this one. Varamir's charge in Return of the King. I think the non-metallic metal looks pretty clean. It probably could use a little more contrast between like the brightest points and the darkest areas.
Yeah.
But I love the paint scheme and the colors he used.
Yeah, I agree. I think also too, maybe perhaps the photo too, it's maybe a little bit darker, and there might be a little bit more contrast than we can see, but yeah, overall it's a nice scene, and especially the freehand on the banner it's pretty well done. It's very, very nice. I like all the extra detail behind like the main tree and the other sketches too, so it adds a nice little detail to it.
Yeah, the blue. I like the dark blue background.
Yes.
On the banner. Yeah. All right. Next, we have George's Minis, and this is his Kelborn model. I think it was a great idea putting him on a base, like a elevated base, especially if he's part of a Lothorian army, because I think it's always cool when your heroes stand out.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the gold armor too, it really stands out. It's nice. Like you were saying, just having it above in an elevated position with a bunch of other models make it really stand out. But yeah, the armor, it looks like it's well highlighted too. You can tell that it was highlighted because some of the edges of the armor, you can see that there's like a little bit of edge highlighting with like a higher color. So that's a nice job overall.
Yeah.
The face too is nicely done.
Yeah, the gold looks really nice next to the blue.
Yes.
I think that's the classic high elf scheme that Games Workshop uses on their high elves, and yeah, it's just a classic elven look with the gold and the blue together.
Definitely. Yeah. Nice job.
A nice one. Next we have I Am Tib, and I'm sure you remember this one. This entry was the winner of my July painting competition. And this Arwen model is just amazing. Like, I love the way he did the non-metallic on the sword.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and Asphalloth is very well painted with the way the white was highlighted, and the base too, very thematic to the movies.
Yeah. Yeah, all of those things added together to make it a really nice entry. The base, with the water from that, iconic scene from the movies, and then obviously the sword, you can tell there's some blue in it, you know, from reflections from not only the cloak but also the environment as well. And then the horse, like you were saying too, you can tell that the appropriate shading has been done for the horse's muscles, especially on the neck, you can tell, and even on the legs. But yeah, overall, really, really nice entry.
Great work. Next one is Itchy Paint Tabletop WG, and I believe this is the Mumak Chieftain. I think the first thing that I noticed is the conversion he did. He added a sword to the right arm. Really simple, really cool conversion. I like the mix of purple and red. I need to try that combination for myself because I just always looking for colors that look good next to purple. And I think red this is a good example of purple and red looking really good together.
Yes, yes, I agree. It's a nice job with even with the desert theme too. Looks like he added some bones or some thicker grass too on the base to give it that sense of that, the model's in Harad. So yeah, nicely done overall.
Yeah, good job on this one. Next, we have jeans and a t-shirt. This is Zeowin. Another classic model I remember picking up back in 2003 when Return of the King was in theaters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is it's a really nice sculpt, and I think he's done it justice. I think my favorite part of this model is the way he highlighted the green like underneath the chainmail.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like that. The two different greens that he used. I guess it's so that it doesn't blend in with the color of the cloak, which is also green. I think that's a brilliant mix of greens.
Yeah, it's just slightly different to give it that bit more of an interesting look. Yeah. The face too is. It looks like the colors underneath the face are muted, so it really draws attention to that face and the hair. So it's very, very nicely done.
Yeah, it'd be great if he dotted the I, but I don't think he necessarily has to.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. That in itself is a project. Just getting that's for sure.
Yeah. And next we have John Mario Takis, and this is his 3 Hunters.
Beautiful. Very, very nicely done. I mean, the colors and the technique of painting too, that you can tell with like all the clothing, the cloaks, the slight, like Gimli has a little bit more of metal, right? So he would, that non-metallic metal stands out a little bit more, but then Aragorn and Legolas even less. But even so, with the non-metallic metal on the Aragorn and Legolas, it stands out. It works very nicely together, all three of the models, which is not always very easy. So it's a very beautiful job.
Yeah, and talking about Gimli, on his shoulder pad, mm-hmm. That's actually all freehand because I painted this model before, and that is not sculpted.
Oh my goodness.
The shoulder pads, yeah, they're actually just a plain flat piece of armor. I mean,
oh, interesting. So that's not. Oh, it's wow. Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, that is very, very nice. That's very well done.
Yeah, just the highlighting overall, like on Gimli's beard, you can tell.
Yeah.
Very nicely highlighted.
Makes it pop. That's for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. I think maybe the bases could use a couple skulls if he's going for the Paths of the Dead look. But yeah, keep it simple.
Yep.
Next we have this is from Just Richard, and I think this is he was going with a scene from Fellowship of the Ring with Ringwraith chasing the hobbits in the movie. I think this is a nicely taken photo. It's very cinematic, and it looks like a movie still to me.
Yeah. This looks like it's you're in the bushes and looking out, and so you see a Nazgul. It's I like the photography aspect of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think for how dark the photo is, you can actually see quite a bit. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, like I agree with you. It's very nicely photographed. Next, this one is from Los Pinceles de Tom Bombadil, and this is his cave drake.
Wow. That's the colors in itself are work very well together, and it pops out very nicely.
Yeah, the belly going with that bright like cream color. Um, that's not like a color that I would usually choose to go with like a bright blue, but it really works here.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Very, very
And
good.
the dwarf pillar just so eye catching
Hmm.
in the face.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, and great job on the face too. Uh,
A purple tongue
like
too. That's really cool, actually.
yeah, yeah, and just like how he went with a brighter blue, or maybe he just did more highlighting on the face. It gives the monster a lot more character.
Yeah, and kind of going off of that too is you can tell in the body itself, you can tell where the areas where it's highlighted, and then there's a transition to where you go like up the neck. It's not as highlighted as much because obviously the light necessarily wouldn't be hitting there as much. So overall, it was nicely thought too of how to where to put the highlights and the lesser highlights too. So it's very nice.
Yeah, yeah. I can. This is probably a centerpiece to his Moya army.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
All right, next is from Lord of the Rings Painter, and I think this is a diorama of Theodred's Last Stand,
Hmm.
and we didn't get to see that very much of that in the movie, so it's great to see it reenacted in diorama form.
Yes, yeah, I'm a sucker for resin too, resin water. So it's really, really cool scene overall. Really, really cool.
Yeah, and that Theodred is converted from the plastic Theoden, I think, and
Oh,
the
okay.
pose, the pose is fantastic. It's really uh, uh, yeah, I don't know. I think it really fits Theodred. It's like a heroic stance with his
Right,
sword raised.
right, right. And the scene and of what we've read from the Battle of Eisen too. It adds that the same with like many of the others that we've been talking about. It adds a nice thematic aspect to it. So it's really cool.
Yeah, this one is from Manly157. This gentleman is also a part of my local gaming group, and he was. This is, I think he was painting up the Defenders of Rohan, or Defenders of Helm's Deep. It's a new legendary legion with a Rohan supplement, and yeah, I just remember he was batch painting these elves during the summer, um, which the green with the gold. I don't see that combination a lot, but I think it fits here.
Yeah, that is true. You're right. Yeah, that's not something you see too often. It's
Yeah,
really Haldir. Obviously, he's the leader, so he stands out. So that's really good. And then the gold aspects, very nice. And then they're just classical models too. These are like some of the first ones that were ever created by GW too, and brings back a lot of fond memories.
yeah. I like how you did the bases. They're really thematic to Helm's Deep. Maybe like a dry brush of quick dry brush of like a light gray would make them pop out more because like you can't really see it really easily, like the details on the bricks. So I think a dry brush would really just pick out the details.
Agreed. Yep. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that definitely help a little bit, but overall, really, really cool job overall. It looks to, I mean, always like when you see a group like this, I wouldn't know because I have like I barely have any models painted. But when you see a group like this, all painted very similarly and very cleanly like this, it really, really shows to be very, very nice together. So awesome job.
Awesome job.
Hey.
Next, this is mine. This is the um, Far Green Country diorama that I did a few months ago.
Hmm.
Gandalf and Pippin sharing a few words in Minas Tirith as the siege is going on outside.
Yeah, yeah. What you did with how you connected all, I think there's four of them, right, all together.
Yeah. So there,
Oh,
it's like four small dioramas
right,
together, and this was the first one.
right. Those are the Gondorian soldiers, soldiers, um, you know, uh, holding the door, and then on the other side you have this massive cave troll or mountain troll
Yeah.
area, and yeah, it was really really cool. Amazing job, man. Very nice.
I just love the scene, and I don't think I've seen anyone make this diorama before, so it was just a ton of fun.
Yeah, I mean,
This project from start to finish. Yeah.
I don't think so at all. Yeah, that's very unique. I mean, I don't think you'll see anybody do something like this again. It's really really cool.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Next, we have Miniature Forest, and these are his Goblin Town goblins.
Yeah.
So usually, I think when I see Goblin Town goblins, they're more warm colors,
Mhm.
like cream colors or some kind of like light brown. So I really like how he went with like a colder, or maybe that's how he base coated them. But there seems to be a little bit of like blue or blue gray on underneath the skin,
Mhm.
and yeah, I think it really brings out like a cold cave kind of atmosphere to them.
Mhm. Yeah, it would be it would make a really cool winter theme as well too, even if you added like some snow on the base. It's like, you could tell a story of, how like this band of goblins were in a certain area in the Misty Mountains, with a lot of
Yeah.
snow, and it would add a really nice theme with the white appearance of the skin as well too. But yeah, very nicely.
Yeah, definitely. Really like clean highlights on the skin, and the faces look great.
Yeah,
Just the way they were, the face details were picked out with the highlights.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, big fan of these. Next, we have more Candace Land, and this is another great piece of photography. I think the way he's lined up all the models, everyone knows exactly what part of the movies this is from.
Yep.
He has the light shining down from the left side of the photo.
Was just thinking of that. Yep.
It's brilliant. It looks like it's coming from like a down a mountain as well. I think the way the angle of the photo as well just looks epic.
Yeah. Overall, everything you just said. It's the theme overall is really cool. The light shining down on the Urukai as Gandalf raises his staff, and the light blinds them. And then you have Aemir in the background too, which is really a really nice touch. Focusing mainly on Gandalf, but as well too, you have the Rohirrim and Aemir behind him. And then the paint job as well too is pretty good too. Um, yeah, overall too with the Urukai, can tell he added a lot of blood splattering too on the armor and the swords. So all these details add up to make a nice scene.
Yeah, great scene.
Yep.
Next, we have from Old Shaky Hands, and this is another scene from another iconic scene. This one's from Fellowship of the Ring, and this is the Wrath of Brunei, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, great water effects on this one.
Yeah, that's ingenious. That's really really cool. How he added the horse faces and or the head of the horse heads,
Yeah,
following the Nazgul. Um, if anything, I think maybe I'd add a little bit more of the base to cover the Nazgul and not have the Nazgul kind of jumping off. But again, that's just me. But overall, I mean, the Nazgul is painted very nicely, and it's really cool.
I don't know if it was intended, but I think the Nazgul leaping like on the edge of the base, maybe it's to give like a effect of him being swept away. by the water.
Yeah, I can see
That
that.
could have been the intent. Yeah, I'm not sure. But when I did this diorama, I used like dollar store plastic toy horses. So I'm wondering, I'm curious if they did the same thing for this diorama.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah, maybe you never know.
Yeah, great job. Next we have from Pasta's painting, and this is another scene of Aylmer and Gandalf arriving at Helm's Deep.
Really clean painted. The Gandalf, the white of Shadowfax, and then the white of Gandalf himself, his cloak. Obviously, there's a clear difference, but it is very nice. Um, yeah, I mean, it's good to have that difference, that slight difference in the white. To have that more warmer white of Gandalf and then the colder of.
It's not. Like, well, painting white is not easy. It's not easy to get it right, and I think having two different shades of white next to each other on a model, it's even more difficult. And
It makes it that much more interesting. Yeah.
yeah. He did a great job here. And then obviously the Photoshop background as well, of the sun rising.
Hmm.
It just brings you back to the scene of them probably just on their way to Helm's Deep.
Yep. Another iconic scene.
Yeah, great job on this. Next we have Peppo paints stuff, and this is his Morannon orcs. I haven't seen this Morannon orc captain around very much. I think he's one of the ones that are harder to find, but I really love this model. Um, I haven't seen many people paint Morannon orcs blue,
Hmm.
but I actually like the idea because they're from Minas Morgul, and blue and green seems to fit that theme.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the blue adds a little bit more interest than like maybe like more of a darker color. So it makes it stand out a little bit more. And
Yeah,
the freehand as well too on the shield. At least we can see that it's on that one shield. So I'd imagine we probably added some on others, but it's very nicely done as well.
yeah, good job on these orcs. Next, we have Scrag the Gustman with his Mordor Urkai.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we probably notice is the conversion he did. He used a Blackguard of Barad-dûr's shield, which is really cool because the Mordor Urkai models from Games Workshop don't have shields, and even though they can take them in the game, so this is just a brilliant way of combining existing models, and they actually look quite good on Mordor Urkai actually.
Yeah, that's quite honestly, I didn't think, I thought that was one of the Black Urukai models. They're or rather the Barad-dûr guard, I think, or from the shield it's from. So it's a really cool conversion. That it's a conversion is good when you can't really tell. It's like, oh wait, wow, this actually was converted. So it's really nice.
Yeah, a little bit of blood effects on the sword too. Always a fan of that on
Yep.
Orcs and Urkai
Yep.
models.
Yeah, it kind of
Yeah,
looks like blood, and then or it kind of looks like a little bit of rust too, which is a
yeah,
nice
yeah.
effect.
Would love to see like a warband, like a formation of these guys,
Whew.
all converted up with those big tower shields.
Yeah, that would be probably in the game. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, we have from Timmy Bakhanov is Murakai Captain. You see a few different angles showing the back. I recently painted up an Isengard army, and it's so much fun freehanding those white hands. And I think he did a great job here. Like the way he painted those hands, it looks like it looks realistic, like actual handprints.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I was thinking the exact same thing when, if you stick your whole hand into some paint and then you slap it on something, it's not just gonna be your hand. It's gonna be your forearm underneath as well too, and there'll be some leftover paint too. So it was really well thought about to do that, to give it that more realistic look.
Yeah, yeah. It just looks like multiple orcs gathered around the shield and did like a team high five on the shield.
Oh, that'd be funny to see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The rest of the
overall,
model is just really like a really clean paint job.
yes, most definitely.
Yeah. All right, next we have two banner minis. Really striking paint job. I think the blue on the horse is very creative.
Yes.
Uh, don't see that a lot.
No, definitely not. It's I'm sure it's definitely realistic, but I mean, you can tell even like where he put the highlights is pretty accurate, and just like the look of the horse too. It not only does it add that a little bit more of an interesting effect, but it um, kind of goes hand in hand with the reddish armor of Aomer too. It works and gels very nicely together.
Yeah, I love the armor on Aomer and the horse. They kind of sync up,
Hmm.
and the way he highlighted like the straps on like the brown straps around the leather armor, and same as the horse's reins. Um, that just it looks so nice the way he did it.
Yep, definitely.
And now that I think about it, the blue on the horse, it kind of gives it a feel of Aylmer at night. So it
Yep.
kind of reminds me of the scene where he ambushes Ugluk in the scouts in the
Yeah,
two towers.
yeah, that would fit in very nicely for sure.
Yeah, fantastic job on this one.
Yep.
Next we have Wave Colors Painting.
Yep.
Wow, what a great model, what a great paint job.
Yep. Classic model, beautiful paint job. The non-metallic metal is very well done with you can tell there's a connection between the armor and then the base as well too. The base has hints of blue and green in it, and that's reflected on the armor. So it was really, really nice job.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, just a lot of attention to detail. The stubble on Haldier's face. Now that I think about it, that looks exactly like the actor in the
Hmm.
movie. Um, the icicles on the base, it brings it to the next level in terms of like winter theme. I really like the light blue, almost turquoise color of the undershirt. I think it fits really well with just the cold theme of the model.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah. The
Yeah,
face is very nicely painted. Pops very well.
yeah,
The eyes too. You can notice the eyes. The eyes are something that if you can get the eyes done well, you don't notice them because it looks natural. If you don't do them well necessarily, then they stick out a little bit, right? So
yeah,
really, really cool how he has the gaze looking in that direction too. So
yeah,
very nicely done.
definitely. Next, we have whiteout miniatures, and this is one that he painted, I think, earlier this year. I saw.
Yep,
Um,
remember this one too.
there's a lot going on just like a 40 mil base. I love how he can turn just a normal size base into a scene. So dynamic. The angle that the Urukai was falling, and obviously the arrow and the rider riding like past him. It's
Yeah,
just it looks so nice.
yeah, it's perfect. I mean, you gotta place the models. It's not when you think about it, it seems pretty easy, but when you actually try to place the models, it's not that easy to have it exactly like, okay, this makes sense that the arrow is going in that direction, you know.
Mhm.
And then the green too. The green for me is really, really nice. If I because I remember this specific model, seeing it on Instagram and seeing the texture he did on the green. You can't see it that well on this picture, but what he had done, it's a really, really nice touch for sure, and even on the horse as well.
Yeah, I find highlighting green to be a challenge personally. So the way he like highlighted it up to, looks like he's added some warm colors. But I really like the look of the green, the contrast, and the shield too.
Yes.
The brown to white.
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. Yeah. Next, we have Void Painting, and this is his Condish army.
Wow.
Uh, we were just talking about winter theme. This is the way to do a winter themed army.
Yeah. That's wow. How you don't see orange that much either, too. And the way that the light blue, or slash the white with blue hints, it goes really, really nicely with the orange. And then even in the orange flags as well, too, there is that same white and that blue. So it all goes very nicely together. On the horses, everywhere, there's those hints that makes it look like a really nice cohesive army.
Yeah, and if you look at the orange banners, they have the same blue that he used to freehand,
Yep.
and then on the blue banners, he has the orange as the freehand.
Yep.
That's brilliant,
Yeah.
and how he just ties the entire paint scheme on those two colors. I don't think I've ever seen a winter Khan army, just because Khan people associate with like Eastern Asia, more like warm areas of the world.
Right.
But yeah, this is great, and I find it usually risky painting light blue personally. So the way that he did it for the like a large part of his models is so impressive. They almost look like they're made of ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really nice looking together.
Last but not least, we have Woodland War Scrolls, and this is his Cave Troll conversion.
Yeah, wow. That's you can tell he added some OSL too, from coming from, at least for us, looking at the picture at the bottom left. Um,
Maybe
maybe
a
that's,
torch or something.
yep, I was thinking the same thing. There's like a fire, that's
Yeah.
giving that effect. Really cool. And too, like the goblin too on top. That's a cool little hint.
Nice conversion.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see some conversions with like a goblin wielding like the troll chain. This is a great result, a great example of that.
For at least the legs too. If you notice, he has the left leg of the troll is kind of stepped up towards and onto those rocks, which is higher than his right foot. So again, that's really very nicely done.
Yeah, and how he shaded like part of the knee that isn't hit by the light. So I
Mm-hmm.
think he did a good job highlighting there.
Yep.
The one thing though is I don't know what the red pieces are on the base, but I find it a little bit distracting. But I love the rest of the model.
Yep. Beautiful.
Yeah, everything else is really well done.
Yep.
Okay, so we've come to the end of the community showcase. Want to thank every single person who submitted an entry for me to share. Thank you all for your continued support of my work, and hopefully everyone had a good 2020 of hobbying. And yeah, and thanks to Gianluca for joining me and looking at these awesome models.
No problem. It's been fun, that's for sure. And thank you for being, as many people say, a good stalwart of the Lord of the Rings community too. You,
Oh, anytime.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome,
Okay.
awesome job as usual. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.
Sounds good. Take care, guys.